welcome back. I have another game review at 10Q. This was a shorter game, but I think it has a lot to learn from. So again, just star points. Then the main focus is keeping group strong. So here, white normally always wants to play here. Because you don't want to let black get a double wing here, because then it's just really good for black. And lots of things that black can do here. You can just back off. Then white can do this one. This is something that could happen. It's probably not the best way for black, but it's simple. You can also do this one. And the latter is good for black. And so this would be pretty nice for black, I would say. Maybe a little over concentrated, but not too bad. So as white, I would prefer to just back off here. Black plays in the corner, then white can pretty easily just Tanuki, play something else. And if black Tanukis later whenever white gets Sente, instead of playing this move, maybe you want to be more aggressive and play in the corner or something like that. But instead, white approached up here, which I disagree with. And then backed off here. So it seems every game so far has been a Moyo game. So I was really tempted just to play here and just build my area, and if white builds his area, I feel I can build a bigger area than white. But so this move is what I would probably consider the better move, but I was trying to change it up a little bit and play something that didn't go after a huge Moyo. I played over here, and he kicks. The kick, I think, is something new that I guess is considered good now, but I'm not really sure about it, so I won't talk about it too much. But I'm pretty sure this is not. Sure, it's this one, or the low one. This one I don't think would ever be considered good. And I just make a simple base. And here, white is kind of doing something that I see a lot of Q players doing, where they kind of just they follow you around. Wherever you last played, they're going to play something close to it. So this is not really the biggest area. Something on this side would be bigger. Maybe I'm wrong here, but even though this is the biggest area for white, I don't think it's the biggest area for black. Because I'm not a fan of if like I just Tanuki and play here where white should have played, and white pushes up here. I don't really like this shape, and I feel like this move is good for white. Might be wrong. I don't know. I just don't like it. So I pushed here, and what I expected was white to just back off here, and then I would Tanuki and play in the corner. And then now this move is not as good for white. Like there's still some weaknesses over here, but to me, this shape is going more towards the center and is more flexible than at this shape. Might just be me, but this looks a lot better for white. Even though this is probably the biggest area. So I played here. So I blocked here. Because if you try to block on this side and he cuts, they can connect here, and then he can threaten, and then you have to run out like this, and then these stones get cut off, and then this is not quite alive. The corner is also kind of weak, so it could be okay, but it gets messy, and I didn't like it like that. So I blocked on this side, and then Yohane, so I go here. I'm not really sure what this move is. I think he should just connect here, and then you can see I have cutting points. So I probably would have to come back and defend one of them. and then white would have sente to tanuki, even though there is some weaknesses over here. But instead, played this one, which I'm thinking maybe was a misclick. I don't know if maybe he was considering this one, and then like sacrificing these to get this Atari, but this Atari doesn't really do much, so I'm not really sure. And so I just capture, because I have these cutting points still, so I wanted to defend those. So I was expecting him to just go here, then I go here, and then this becomes very strong. So even though, again, this is probably still the biggest move, this one I think is more urgent because it makes my group nice and strong, and I don't really have to worry about it anymore because it has eye here, and then it should be easy to get another eye somewhere else or run away. Or even just extend and make an eye here. It's pretty flexible. But he did this move, so I could just go down here. He connects, I capture. I think this would be good. I chose to just take the stone and connect because I like the outside, it's a lot stronger. And then later I can still capture these if he doesn't, even if he defends once, he has to defend twice for me to not be able to capture those stones. He defends here, and now I don't really have to worry about this cutting point because if he cuts, I can just capture. And if he defends, then I can defend. Okay, now this group is pretty weak. Like if I play here, he doesn't exactly have two eyes. Like it wouldn't be easy to kill, but I feel like this move is pretty sente. So he responds, and then I just defend. So this could be a mistake. I think this move is big, but this move could also be just as big. The reason that I would like playing in the corner more is mostly because this area is low. White has stones into the center, like it's hard to just enclose him. So even if I go here, I'm not building too much. Like he can shoulder hit or play any move that can reduce it. So while I think this move is big, I like this better. I could be wrong. At this point, I think either one would be fine. Okay, then he runs out, so I don't surround him, which I think is a decent move. I don't think this is in too much trouble, but you don't want to let your opponent surround you, because then you have all this influence. But it feels really bad to have to play this. He tries to invade. I just defend my corner. Like I said in the other video, when you're trying to live in an area, you don't want to, like I would consider this pretty much attaching. Because when you attach, it makes the stone stronger. And it's not really helping the white stone at all. So here, I pretty much made this really solid, got some points. He still needs to play something like this to try and live. And it also fixed my corner. So this would be better. Because this move has two follow-ups. You can either attach or run under here, or go into the center. So if black goes on top, then you can just simply run and try to live this way. Which is nothing that's good for white, but it has more options, more flexible. And if black just blocks over here, then you can run out. But instead he attached, and then he tanuki'd. So this group is weak. This group still needs a move to make it somewhat strong. So it would be a bad idea to just be like, well, this group's weak, so I'm gonna tanuki. So you just go here and try to kill it. Because even if you do kill it, this corner gets into a lot of trouble. And white can't defend this one, and this one. So he's gonna have to pick one. You might as well just defend. Just defend your corner. This is also making this group a little bit weaker, so you can pincer over here. This group needs a base, and this group needs to run out. Okay, so he just made a base. So now he has this group, which is not the strongest group. I can pincer up here, which makes this group weak, and this group is not alive yet. So I had several options. Like I said, I could attack this group, could do something here. I would say this one's still not too weak because this stone is a little too far away. You would rather have it here, so then you can do more stuff here. To do this one because it reduces the points up here. He now has 3 weak groups, while I only have 1 to really worry about. It's reducing his points, and because of the shape here, there's still some weaknesses in the corner. So it's keeping his groups weak, and mine I'm keeping strong. So he attaches. Again, same thing as down here. You don't want to attach to a single stone because it gets stronger. So white should just run away. Run to the center and try to make it stronger. Which makes this weaker, so I would have to run out as well. But instead he attaches. I expected him to just do something like this. Then I have to do this. So I can get out, and then I'm also aiming at the corner. So it causes some issues for him. But instead he just cuts. Normally when someone cross cuts, you normally don't want to Atari. You want to extend from one of your stones. And you want to decide which is the more important stone. This one doesn't really have any goal. It's kind of like its goal would be to run out and connect to this group. It wouldn't be gaining any points, and it wouldn't be destroying white's points. This one, however, is keeping this group weak, and it's also threatening to like capture the stone and run out here. So I would say this is the more important stone. You wouldn't want to go here because then he can just go here, and then even if you're living small, and he's probably getting an outside that's doesn't have too many weaknesses. So I just extended down here. So now if he connects, I can just capture. And this shouldn't have any trouble living. But this is probably the best result for white because this is pretty strong now. But this corner is getting into trouble. Or if he runs out with this one, then I can Atari connect, and you can see how these are getting weaker and weaker. In the game, he Atari'd here, which normally if you get Atari'd, if a single stone gets Atari'd, you want to extend at least once, normally. Now it's kind of similar where he can go back to here and I capture. Or if he goes here, then I run out. It's pretty much the same. Instead, he chose this option, which this side is definitely much bigger than these 2 stones. So, of course, I decided to Atari. And then connect. So now I still have the option to capture this stone later. And if he captures these 2 stones, it's not a big deal because it's just 2 stones. And then this group is weak, and he can't really surround me too easy. He goes down, which I wouldn't recommend. Here, because it's so weak, you kind of just have to run out and try to stay as light as possible. So you don't want to play anything too solid. So I would consider moves like even something like this, or maybe even lighter and go further, because at this point you're gonna have to sacrifice something. Like you can't just live here and get points. Instead he goes here. This group is weak, so I want to defend it, but at the same time, I want to get out and also keep his group weaker. And so just a simple turn here is helping me run out to the center. It's like threatening to surround him, so he should be wanting to run out here. And then I can do something like maybe peep, and then run out, just to keep it weak. But instead he decided to capture these 2 stones, which are definitely very small here. So again, just surrounding the stones. The goal here is not to kill, but to just get a strong outside, have as little weaknesses as possible, and then I can, attack this group still and this group still. So I don't need to kill this group. So a lot of people, they would probably they'd go all out. Like they would go something like here to get rid of the eye shape. I don't know, something like that. I'm not really sure. But I like this move because it's, strong shape here, and you're threatening to connect and surround. Okay, and then he just goes here to try and live. I just connect. You should probably go here to try and live. It's kind of sad because I believe it just can't live because there's one eye here, and if he tries to capture this stone, I can just throw in here and get rid of that eye. And if he tries to expand too much, I believe I can just throw in here. I might be wrong. If you want to read this further, you can find a way to live. Let me know in the comments, and I'll check it and see if you're right or wrong. Instead, he just cut here, which I think it's just making it worse. Normally, if something dies, and you know it's dead, you want to just move on. Like right now, it's pretty difficult for white, points-wise, but you don't want to make it worse. You don't want to just keep playing locally and make things get bigger and bigger. You want to, defend one of your other weak groups, and then see if you can get a chance later. But instead he just cuts, and I just keep running out because this is my weakest group, so I just need to make sure it's safe. All my other groups are nice and strong. And you normally don't want to do this unless you're going to do a ko or something. You just want to be nice and solid so that it gives less options to black. And then I just, again, try to connect my 2 groups to stay nice and strong. I don't need to separate this and try and kill everything and then get cut later and then something bad happens. Just want to keep it nice and simple and protect your weaknesses first. And then if your opponent doesn't protect their weaknesses, then you can attack. But you want to make sure you're strong first. I just go here, and then he tries to, I guess, peep. Again, I'm just trying to stay connected. Don't want to let him cut. He cuts here, which gives him his best option, I would guess. Because if he lets me connect too easily, then this is just dead. There's nothing he can really do. But he made a mistake here and just extended. Can go here first. But instead, he just extended. And so, of course, I'm just going to connect. Make sure nice connected, nice and strong. If I'm strong, that means I can attack and do more things. I don't have to worry about it. And then he resigned here. which is probably a good point to resign because, like I said, all my groups are nice and strong and connected, making points. This group, I believe, is dead. Prove me wrong if you can. My reading is not that good. This group looks a bit weak. Doesn't make that many points. This corner had lots of weaknesses most of the game, but it's pretty solid now. But that's pretty much his only area with points. This is weak. This is weak. This is weak. Which is why you really want to focus on having strong groups. Like I think that's like the main thing for like 10Q to probably even to like 1Q and higher. Like except the reasons are different. When you're like 10Q to like 5Q around there, you just don't really understand what makes a group strong yet because you haven't really tried to do it. And after that, once you get to like, I don't know, around 2Q, I think, then I think it's just overconfidence. You're just like, I'm good now. You can't kill me even if you try. Which, again, I think the main focus in games, even at higher levels, is keeping your groups nice and strong. The key there is when you get stronger, you just get more efficient at it. You can make your groups stronger with less stones. And that's the fun part, is deciding, is my group strong enough with these 3 stones, or do I need to add one? But when you're just starting out, if you need to add an extra stone or 2, even if it costs you a few points here and there, just to make your group stronger, I think it's worth it. And then as you improve and learn from it, then you can start taking away stones and being more efficient. But I hope this game was a little bit different because it didn't involve large areas. And let me know what you think about it. You guys said you liked the review style a little bit more. So I'm definitely probably gonna do that a little bit more often. But some people also like the live game, so I also want to keep doing that one as well. But for the live games, I will probably do it for something else, like higher level games or something like that. And I'm also probably gonna start streaming soon. I'm not sure what day yet. My 2 days it'll probably will either be Tuesdays, probably around like 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. or something, 12 to 5 Eastern time. And Sundays it'd probably be closer to like 5 p.m. to later. Because I work another job, so my hours are not too flexible. But if you guys have anything that you would prefer on times, let me know, and I'll try to accommodate you as best I can. And yeah, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday. Thank you.